Well, we are starting off the week with some impactful snow squalls in southern Ontario. I'm Matt Hamel alongside meteorologist Nadine Powell to help break it all down. And Nadine, we also are tracking some impactful travel impacts with the snow.
Yes, I mean, all of this started off on Saturday where we had that storm that brought everything and the kitchen sink, different types of weather from different seasons. And then that set up the squalls that have been ongoing since yesterday. Treacherous travel coming off of Lake Huron and Georgian Bay.
So Storm Hunter Mark Robinson, you're on the ground for us to help break it all down. Of course, the travel impacts top of mind when we see a snow squall set up like this. So what else are you kind of keeping an eye on for today?
Well, you know what? The interesting part of these squalls is the variability. Started off early this morning on my way down from the GTA area all the way down to London, and very clear as we get a little closer to GTA. But as I got into the squall zone around Woodstock, all of a sudden we went from nice clear pavement on to wet pavement, and then to not quite whiteout conditions, but definitely tricky driving conditions. I wanted to show that to everybody early this morning, but I couldn't, with the snow squalls not quite hitting where I wanted it to be. I had to travel a little further for me to get to the squalls, but of course, nobody else wants that except maybe me. Most people want to have a nice clear drive as they're headed down towards the west, down towards the London area. If you're going through that area, everyone's hoping for nice and clear. I'm hoping for a little bit of snow. I did manage to get that, but within, I'm going to say, a minute and a half, we went from full snow to almost nothing, and that is very typical of these squalls as they sort of wave back and forth. But London definitely the area that's getting hit. Right? Am I correct on that, Nadine?
Yeah, certainly. So, I mean, we have been tracking those bands throughout the morning, and London definitely Woodstock. Those are a couple of the areas that have been seeing some of the more intense bands. And one of the areas, as a matter of fact, where we are expecting Mark to see some of the higher snowfall totals. But Mark, I want to ask you, because I can see there are lots of traffic happening behind you. You are on a ramp just close to the 401. What are you anticipating essentially with regard to these bans as we look toward the rest of today and for tomorrow?
Well, Nadine, I was in the London area late on Sunday night, and the winds and the snow were really getting going then. So I was seeing a few centimeters of snow, and that was, about 7, 8 o'clock on Sunday night. I'm expecting quite a bit more snow by the time I arrive in the same spot I was last night. And then that's likely to continue at least to the morning, and then it will sort of peter out, and the temperatures are going to rise. So the snow that you're seeing behind me likely going to be gone fairly quickly as we get into those warmer temperatures.
Okay, thank you so much for the update, Mark, and we're going to be hoping that you and everybody else on the roads today are taking it extra careful with that snow in the mix. And Nadine, as we move along to southern Quebec, still some snowflakes here, but kind of the tail end of what we saw over the weekend.
Yeah, certainly more or less it's Sherbrooke and the Eastern Townships, St. George, Lac-Mégantic, and certainly once we head up through the mouth of the St. Lawrence, cloudy skies elsewhere, and a bit of clearing coming through for us as we look toward the middle of the week, Matt.
Yeah. Okay, now for Atlantic Canada, nothing clear about how we're starting off our Monday with the rainfall really targeting Newfoundland and some of that wet snow or pockets of flurries for the Maritimes, and gradually things sort of quieting down as we look ahead into tomorrow.
Yeah, certainly. So just perhaps a few lake and sea effect showers for us, or sea effect rain and snow showers. Now, also looking at windy conditions for us, especially along coastal sections of Newfoundland. The southwest coast, though, that coinciding with high tide could create some coastal erosion situations happening there.